something.
Pretty much uphill buzz up when I'm done.
Yeah, which we get to. Yeah, I just cooked hard. Do you see the story I got with the boater on the Erie Canal? He's doing the 6,000 mile track. Did you really? So your dad got the scoop too, but yeah, it's overtrained with waterfalls. And, yeah. Well, the index, I mean, it took this whole trying to find the different
Stayed after Kirk left.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so. I think that where else are they going to go?
Yeah.
Now, if they're really good, I suppose. Sashi?
Yeah. Oh, the mayor?
Yeah, Shashi, I think. Shashi.
Did you guys cover that as well?
My doctor.
Whenever you guys are ready, it's fine.
Wait till
You can wait. No, we can wait. We got time.
I heard about that.
Okay.
Seven's in now, sir.
Yeah, apparently I don't. Almost
10:01. 10:05? Can we wait till 10:05?
Y'all get a copy of this letter?
Yeah.
You run and make
Oh, yeah, I
copies.
got that.
Yeah, we were hand delivered this by the police department yesterday at about
They don't want to go back.
10:50.
Okay.
And he took down the police officers, very nice. He took down everyone's phone number and email address. And then he goes, yeah, well, and then the mayor came down Clinton Avenue too, which was very strange in itself. I know the jewelry store, he's the landlord of our building. He told us we had to shut down. He's like, look, I don't want any problem with the mayor. Said we all get arrested. No one goes to jail in Rochester,
exactly.
let's be clear.
They did the same thing last year.
They had a similar letter, but I don't remember this tone. It didn't have this threat at the bottom.
Do you still have a copy of that letter?
I could look at my emails to see if I
You got it. That's what I'm
Yeah.
Hey, you want to just go and then you
let's.
Hey, Albert.
Yes.
Yeah. Unfortunately, some of the merchants are a little terminated because they're scared that they're going to get fined.
You can, Albert, you can come
and just speak up. Okay.
Maybe Albert, hold on here, over it.
You wouldn't mind
Right in the middle. Well, maybe not quite that.
Okay.
No problem. Does this work? Both of you?
I'll ask the question. Pop that up. We'll take it right there.
Okay. Hey, how's it going? Good.
Starting.
Worked out legs today and I shouldn't have. Now you get a double workout. Now I got double workout. Yeah. You good? Yep. You good? Oh, my pants don't tear. Pantalones. Yes.
Gotta keep your pantalones.
That's right.
You bring the news.
That's right. Good to go? Sir, first, last name, spelling of it, and your title, please.
First name is Albert, Albert. Last name Algarin, Algarin. President of the North Clinton Avenue Business Association.
You sent this letter to Mayor Malik Evans. Talk about the letter. Why'd you send it? What's going on August 2nd?
Basically, surprisingly enough, yesterday, our merchants received a letter telling them that on the festival day, they either must shut down by 4 o'clock, and if they don't shut down, there could be fines, or even also could be arrests. I was very concerned about this. I think was very aggressive, very unprofessional. Our merchants are not crimes. These are people that get up every day, open doors, serve our community, and do business. So to be treated that way, I felt that was unfair and unjustly. And that forced me to write this letter to the mayor and city council as well.
So I haven't heard of the city doing anything like this for other festivals. What are your thoughts on that?
I feel it's very unjustly, very unfair, and I feel like we have been discriminated. Are we discriminated because the location where we're in, the addresses where we are, the cars that we drive? I don't know. But I think that if you're going to force such a law, you should force it equally and fairly throughout the whole city, not select who you want to select and force laws that are not right into this community. Because what you're doing today, you're scaring the merchants. They're scared. They first you walk down the strip and tell them, hey, work with the city, and then next you turn around and you want to fine them and you want to arrest them. And I, as the president of the Business Association, I am not going to allow that. And on Saturday, I got up this morning. I told my wife, on Saturday I'll be there, and if any of my merchants get arrested, then unfortunately they better get ready to arrest me too, because I will stand up and fight for my merchants.
Albert, the city made a similar request last year, and the city says merchants were complied with it. We're okay with it. What's the difference this year?
The difference is that basically a lot of the merchants, you run a business, you're very busy. They're thinking about making money, and a lot of them did not read it. A lot of them did not saw exactly how serious it was. And now this time they picked up on it and go, hey, this is more serious than what we thought. This time we could get arrested, we can get fined. So basically they speak up this time.
You think the merchants are going to close?
I got a feeling that not. I got a feeling some might and some won't. I'll be honest with you about that.
What are you advising them to do?
I cannot legally advise them, because I was going to talk to the captain, the police department, and say, look, let's give them a choice. If you don't feel safe, close. But if you don't, you feel like you want to keep open, keep open. But now, because the law that is behind that, I cannot do that, because now they're saying that it could be arrest, it could be fine. So basically now I'm pretty much on catch-22. And that's why in the letter I said to the mayor, you got to retreat this. You got to give them a choice. You just can't force your laws into them without giving them a choice. Let them do what they want. If they want to close, they close. And if they want to open, they open. Let them make that choice. But why should you making the choices for them? You're not the one who's losing the money. They are. And the festival is making money. So why is it that now the Avenue is going to lose money because of the festival? The festival is not our problem. That's a city problem and the festival problem, not ours. So therefore, a lot of them don't want to lose money. So are they going to be open? Some of them will be open. And some of them will be arrested. I don't know. I'm not sure how fast.
Let's be real here, though. The problem, you and I know the issues that have happened after the Puerto Rican Festival for years and years. We're well aware of that. And it happens after the festival is over, and it happens on this street in these neighborhoods.
But it's not.
So the city is trying to do whatever it can without arresting thousands of people, trying to do something to cure that.
Well, last year was any arrest? Yeah, last year was a good festival. Last year it was open. Last year people came. There was no problem last year. Why is it this year is different? Allow them to open up. Allow them to keep open. And listen, things happen in Park Avenue Festival and St. Patrick Festival. Okay, those things happen there as well. So why is it that we are choosing and picked to not to open up? So if you want to shut down festivals, then shut down all the festivals who have problems and challenges. Why us?
And how many businesses are we talking about, roughly?
In here, you probably have about 60, 65.
60, 65 businesses?
Yep.
And I don't know, maybe how many employees?
They probably got 2 employees. Remember, these are small little businesses. They can't afford a lot of employees. So they employ maybe 1, maybe 2 person. That's it.
And thousands of dollars.
Oh, they make good money.
Yeah.
Because you got to remember, about 75% of the people that live in this area, they don't have cars. So where do they go? They go here.
So how late do they generally stay open? Do they stay open during the festival?
Most of them, some of them do. And then, like I say, I'm not going to force them to close. Because the mayor wants to enforce these rules and these regulations. But crime happens all over when festivals happen. I know that happens here in some times, but it happened on Park Avenue, it happened in St. Patrick, okay? And why is it that you're forcing such a strict law on us and not on them? So Give us the chance. Give them the chance to, this is how they support the family. This is the bread and butter. So why is it that we are chosen to close? Allow them to make their own choice, whether they feel safe or not. They'll close, and if they want to stay open, let them stay open. Give them a choice. Don't just shove down your laws to their throat and say this is the only way, one way or the highway.
And like those other festivals, do they tend to make more money during
Absolutely.
the Puerto Rican Festival?
Absolutely, they make money. Absolutely, people come down, people spend money, people buy food, people buy beer. So they make money. This is, they're little mom and pop. They're not like the, Walmart or Target. This is their bread and butter. It's how they pay the bills. Allow them, give them a choice. But you're not giving them no choices. You're saying, this is it. Give them a choice. That's what I'm asking.
What did you think when you first saw this letter?
Well, I read it and it didn't hit me right away. But then when I started reading it, and then I got saying, you know what? Can they get arrested? Then that worried me. And the fines I don't care about, but the arrest part did worry me because I don't want nobody in my merchant. These are good merchants. They get up every morning. They have families. They work hard. They open, they close every day, and they give back to the community. They pay taxes to the community. And so these are good people. These are not bad people. So why are you treating them different from Park Avenue and treating them different from the St. Patrick Parade? Why is it they're different? I want to know that different. And like I said to him, retreat what you did. Give them a choice. Give them a choice. Not your choice. You want your choice only. No, that's not right. That's not fair. You're not going to shove laws down to our throat and say this is one way or the other. No, we're telling you, give us a choice. At least sit down and talk to us. They never sat down and talked to us. They just write these rules and regulations. I told them, look, why can't we sit down and talk? That we can maybe come up with some kind of a middle halfway that everybody's happy. But when you put down arrests and when you put down fines, you put fear into people. And a lot of them are scared. Some of them I invited, they don't want to be here in this press release because they're scared. When you talk police and when you talk city, when you talk mayor, right? What are you going to do?
What about their ask that they'd like to partner with you, with the businesses?
Be the mayor?
Yeah.
I don't have a problem talking to the mayor. We could sit down and talk. We could have a cup of coffee and say, look, Mayor, we got to be fair to them as much as we want to be fair to you. But you got to give them some choices. You just cannot put your laws down the throat and expect them to do it. Because it's not you that got to pay the rent, the RG&E, the bill, the food. They also have responsibility, just like the festival makes a lot of money. You're okay with that, so why can't you be okay that they make money too?
On the issues that Berkeley brought up, the street parties, the parade, and everything like that, how much do businesses being open really play into that? I mean, that seems like things that are going to happen no matter what. So do you think it makes a difference whether or not businesses are open in regards to the festival and the parties and the street parade?
Well, it is because it is a revenue of money that they make. Mm-hmm. And that's something that helps them, continue to pay their bills. And so, unfortunately, when you shut it down, they people are not going to come and buy the beer or the cigarette or the milk or the bread. So that is a huge impact. And we're saying, yeah, we got some issues. So is the whole city got issues right now. We got more crime in the city than ever before. So why don't you enforce those laws into the crime that's going on, in this community, and not force so much into the people that come here and work hard and give back to the community. All we're saying is, let's be fair, man. Let's sit down and talk. Don't just go ahead and try to shove down this law in our throat. Let's work it out.
Could we hear from Mercedes?
Hi.
As mentioned, police city officials were claiming this is nothing new. What's your response to that?
I've seen a similar letter, but it wasn't this aggressive at the end. I mean, when I saw this letter and I received this letter that was hand delivered by a police officer who took down my contact information as well. It was a just in case we need to call you. I was insulted by this letter. I felt that, it was written in a threatening manner. Let's partner up. But then if you choose not to partner up, and this is what's going to happen, This isn't a collaborative letter. This isn't a letter to businesses that say, hey, let's figure out a solution. Puerto Rican Festival is going on its 55th year anniversary. We've been dealing with issues tied to the Puerto Rican Festival, the aftermath, if you will, for quite some time. You would think that we would have a conversation with the businesses to say, what do you think we should do this year to help protect your business, to help protect the community? But that conversation has never happened. You know, they have coalitions, if you will, to help address it, but it's part of the problem. There's a major disconnect with this letter. You're coming down on the wrong people. You should really come down on the offenders that are doing this every year. You see, this problem perpetuates and it continues every year because there isn't any consequences for doing this. And until that happens, it's going to continue. So they've closed down Clinton. It's going to go down to Joseph or Hudson. It's going to move somewhere. Again, until there's consequences for their actions, it's going to continue.
What do you think should be done then? I know you're talking about consequences, but what consequences would you like to see happen?
Well, you know, there should be fines. But again, we should have a conversation with the community. Businesses should be part of it. In fact, years prior, El Pilon would put a small tent outside during Puerto Rican Festival weekend. And for those who weren't festival goers, would stop in here and still celebrate their culture, still celebrate the heritage coming here. They'd have folk music here, and it was a family fun event. So we can still have that. But there has to be a partnership. I think what we should have done, I think what the city should have done is add more police presence to Clinton Avenue. Look around. The Clinton Avenue Business Association is fighting a war, a losing war. Look at all these businesses that are closing and will continue to close. I've worked with Albert Algarin in the past to have conversations with the city of bringing additional resources, one being the police or in law enforcement to help with the crime. We have a very transit area community. We have homeless. We have those, we can't deny what's happening in this community, but brushing it away, closing streets only pushes it to another street. And that's the reality of what's happening.
You know, this does kind of coincide with some actions taken by the police department last week on this strip. You know, the clearing of homeless encampments, the raiding of multiple drug houses. Do you think these two are connected in any way?
I'm sure it's a continuation of it. In fact, the police involved shootings just half a block away. And we've seen the presence, but we see it every year. Every year there is a shooting. There's something that happens that causes police presence for a very short period of time. But guess what? Those criminals know that this is just temporary. Then in a few weeks, things will go back to normal. So consistency is very important when we're dealing with matters like that.
Do you expect this to be consistent, the kind of action they've been taking over the past week or so?
No, I don't think so. No, I think that this is temporary. And again, until laws change, it'll continue.
What laws need to change?
State laws that need to change that hold folks accountable for their crimes. And also we need to pour resources into this community. Look around again. Clinton Avenue is becoming a ghost town. We have vacant storefronts, you know, and he's trying to bring in businesses. It's not appealing to an investor that wants to come into this community and change the narrative.
Are you referring to bail reform and parole reform and things like
Yes.
that?
Yeah, I was going to reiterate that or ask about that specifically. What state laws?
So there's laws like the bail reform, the raise of age. We see the crime here every single day. In fact, I opened up that center specifically to help address and curb some of the youth-involved violence that we're seeing in our community. And it's gone with close to minimal funding. But it's important that there's a presence here, that we have a place for young people to call home. But again, until laws change, it'll continue.
Yeah, well, Kathy Hochul has made some tweaks in these laws. What is there anything specific? Like I know, is there a specific tweak or change you'd like to see made?
I applaud Kathy Hochul for making some of the necessary changes. I think the intentions of bail reform were right intended, but I think you need to go back whenever you implement laws to see what are the true impacts to the community. Victims continue to be victimized by some of these laws, and that's what needs to change.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There's a business owner that said he'd like to talk to him. And I've got to say, Malik Evans was here. The mayor came down after we received this letter. The mayor did come down and talk to some of the businesses. Some of the businesses are just intimidated by the whole process. It never happened before, where you get a hand-delivered letter from a police officer. Very nice police officer, by the way. But to get that, and then they're taking down your contact information, that whole process was rather intimidating. And then you get a visit from the mayor on top of that. You don't get that every day.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sims.
Good to see you both.
Good to
Yeah,
see
thank
you.
you.
Yeah, she's
What is she on?
She owns this restaurant. In fact, she never got this letter because she's closed on Monday. Now, if you look at the date, it's dated July 24th in Spanish and July 23rd in English. Very bizarre that it was done this way. We all received it yesterday. All the way down the corridor, we all received it yesterday.
The other question, real quick, is where is city council for this? The people that we elect.
Yeah.
Where are they?
You know what I mean? We're so small guys. We've been battling getting folks out
Every year.
before.
About it is.
Public,